The call to destiny. In the deep silence of space, when stars shone like distant beacons, a whisper of fate began to stir. In a small outpost on the edge of the known universe, Commander Liam sat in his modest cabin aboard the starship Horizon. He often gazed through the narrow window at the endless black void sprinkled with twinkling lights. Tonight, something was different. A feeling of quiet excitement and fear gripped his heart as he sensed that change was coming. For many years, the people of humanity had lived in a state of calm and routine. They built great ships and explored new worlds, but nothing had ever shaken them as much as this moment. Rumors had spread among the fleet of a mysterious signal coming from the dark space beyond their borders. It was a call, not just a message, but a beckoning from the unknown. Liam had heard the rumors too. Like many, he felt a pull, an invitation to something greater than his everyday duty. At first, the signal was faint, a soft pulse that seemed to echo in the quiet halls of the ship. The technicians tried to analyze the sound, but the numbers and graphs did not tell a clear story. Yet the crew felt its presence. It was as if the void itself was speaking, urging them to listen. Liam stood and walked slowly to the large window, his eyes fixed on the darkness beyond. The stars flickered and danced, and in that cosmic dance, he felt the call to destiny. As hours passed, the signal grew stronger. It pulsed like a heartbeat, steady and deep. The quiet outpost soon became alive with cautious energy. Officers gathered in small groups, whispering theories about what the message could mean. Some thought it might be a trap set by a hostile empire that had long watched humanity's progress. Others believed it was a gift, a sign of help from an ancient friend. In the midst of this confusion, Liam remained calm, listening to his inner voice that told him to follow the call. The captain of the Horizon, a kind and wise leader named Captain Mira, called a meeting in the central hall. With her gentle but firm voice, she explained that the signal could not be ignored. "We have lived in safety for too long," she said, "and the universe is full of secrets waiting to be discovered." Her words resonated with everyone. Liam felt that this was the moment when the lives of all those aboard the Horizon, and perhaps all of humanity, would change forever. The crew was divided. Some were eager to set off immediately, driven by the desire to explore and find the source of the signal. Others hesitated, their minds filled with caution and fear of the unknown. But the majority felt the spark of destiny, a need to answer the call no matter what dangers might lie ahead. Liam took a deep breath and volunteered to lead the mission. He felt an unspoken strength inside him, a belief that this journey was meant for him and his brave companions. As the preparations began, Liam spent long hours reviewing old star maps and ancient records. He discovered hints of a time when humanity first reached out into the void and made contact with mysterious forces. These accounts were simple, written in basic language and filled with hope. They spoke of a time when the human spirit soared, and no empire could hold it down. Liam's heart filled with determination. He knew that following this call was more than an adventure. It was a return to the very essence of what it meant to be human. When the day to set off finally arrived, the entire crew gathered on the launch deck. The Horizon shuddered softly as its engines roared to life, ready to cut through the stillness of space. Families and friends waved goodbye, their eyes full of pride and worry. Liam's gaze met Captain Mira's one last time, and in that brief look, both knew that this mission was the start of something extraordinary. The signal was not a warning, but an invitation, a call to destiny that no one could ignore. The starship moved steadily into the dark, each mile drawing them further from the familiar and closer to the mysterious void. Liam stayed at the bridge, his hands steady on the controls, his eyes fixed on the horizon. Every sensor beep and every whisper of the ship seemed to echo the message of the call. "We are needed," the void seemed to say. "We are meant to rise." As the Horizon sailed deeper into space, the pulse of the signal grew stronger, and a strange warmth filled the cabin. The crew felt as if they were being welcomed into a new era, one where the old fears of empires and rigid rules would give way to the courage of the human heart. For Liam and his crew, this was not just another mission. It was the start of their destiny. They were about to discover that in the dark vastness of space, even a single call could spark the light of hope, and humanity's true strength would shine through. Gathering the fleet. After the call to destiny echoed through the corridors of the starship Horizon, Commander Liam knew that the journey ahead could not be taken alone. The mysterious signal from the void had stirred something deep in every heart, but to face the unknown and challenge the lurking empire, he needed a strong and united fleet. It was time to gather those who shared his determination and spirit. Liam began by visiting the various sections of the ship, speaking with officers and crew who had shown courage during previous missions. In the quiet meeting room of the Horizon, he outlined his vision. "We have heard the call," he said in clear, simple words. "Our destiny lies beyond these familiar stars. We must come together as one, combine our strengths, and form a fleet that can rise to meet whatever awaits us in the dark." The crew listened intently. Among them was engineer Sarah, known for her skill in repairing even the most battered machines. She had a kind smile and a mind that worked like a well-oiled engine. "I will help rebuild and ready our ships," she promised. "Every vessel, no matter how old, can be made strong again with the right care." Her words filled the room with hope. Next, Liam sought out Navigator Jalen, a quiet but brilliant mind who could read the maps of the stars like an open book. Jalen had once saved the Horizon from a dangerous meteor shower, and his experience was now more valuable than ever. "I will chart the safest path through the void," he said in simple terms. "I know these routes, and I will lead us away from hidden dangers." The crew nodded, trusting that his maps would guide them to the source of the signal. As the plan took shape, word spread across nearby outposts and space stations. Veterans of old space battles, pilots with nerves of steel, and even a few young recruits, eager for adventure, arrived to join the cause. Among these new faces was Captain Zara, a seasoned pilot who had flown through many a cosmic storm. With a confident smile, she declared, "I have seen the darkness and felt the light of hope. I will lead any ship that dares to follow me." Her presence lifted the spirits of all who gathered. In a large open hangar, the assembling fleet took shape. The Horizon was not alone. Other ships of various sizes and designs began to line the docking bays. Some were sleek and modern, while others were older models that had been carefully maintained over the years. Despite their differences, each ship shared one purpose: to follow the call into the unknown and discover what fate had in store. Liam and his closest advisors met to review the strengths and roles of each vessel. The plan was simple and clear. The older ships, rich with history and experience, would form the backbone of the fleet. The newer, faster crafts would scout ahead, gathering information and keeping watch for any signs of danger. Each ship, no matter how small, played an important role in the grand design. While the officers discussed logistics and strategies, there was also time for quiet moments of reflection. In the dim light of the hangar, a group of crew members gathered around a holographic display showing the stars and the mysterious pulse of the signal. They shared stories of past adventures, tales of battles fought and lost, and dreams of a future where humanity would rise above old fears. It was a moment of unity that transcended ranks and titles, a shared belief that together they could face any challenge. Even as the fleet was being organized, doubts and questions crept into some hearts. What if the signal was a trap? What if the Empire was already waiting in the dark? But these worries were met with steady resolve. Liam reminded everyone, "We have always known that progress comes with risks. But if we do nothing, we lose our chance to be more than just survivors. We must act, we must unite, and we must answer the call." His words were simple, yet they resonated deeply. In the following days, the fleet worked tirelessly to prepare for the mission. Engineers fixed engines, pilots practiced maneuvers, and every crew member learned how their unique skills would contribute to the whole. It was a time of hard work, camaraderie, and shared determination. Slowly, the fleet grew not only in number, but also in spirit. Liam often took a quiet walk along the edge of the docking bay, watching the ships and thinking about the unknown. He knew that the road ahead would be filled with challenges, but the gathering of this diverse and brave group filled him with hope. Every face he saw was a reminder of the strength of humanity, a strength built on trust, courage, and the will to push forward into the mystery of the void. As the day of departure neared, the fleet gathered for a final assembly on the main deck. Under the soft glow of distant stars visible through the wide windows, Liam addressed his assembled crew one more time. "Today we become more than just a collection of ships and people," he said. "We become a family, united by a single purpose: to explore, to fight, and to secure our future against the fear of empires. Together, we will venture into the darkness, and together, we will bring light to those who have lost it." The words echoed across the deck, stirring hearts and steadying nerves. In that moment, every individual felt that they were part of something larger than themselves, a powerful force that was ready to challenge the unknown and redefine the future of humanity. With their hearts united and their ships ready, the fleet stood on the brink of an epic journey. The call of destiny had been answered, and a new chapter was about to begin. The gathering of the fleet was complete, and the brave souls aboard were prepared to set off into the void, their spirits high and their resolve unbreakable. The mystery of the void. As the fleet sailed away from the safety of familiar space, a vast darkness embraced them. The void, deep and endless, seemed to hide secrets that no one had ever imagined. Commander Liam and his crew now faced the unknown, a place where every star was a distant memory, and every shadow whispered of hidden mysteries. The starship Horizon led the fleet into this great expanse. At first, the void appeared empty, a silent ocean of black sprinkled with faint, distant lights. But soon, strange signals began to appear on the navigator's screens. Simple, pulsing waves of energy flashed in the darkness. Navigator Jalen studied these signals closely, his eyes filled with both wonder and caution. "These readings are like nothing we have seen before," he said in a calm voice. "They are soft and steady, yet they hint at something powerful." Curiosity mixed with a sense of foreboding as the ships ventured deeper into the void. The signals seemed to guide them, as if the darkness itself was alive and calling them onward. In the quiet moments on the bridge, the crew often exchanged nervous glances. They had trained for many battles and explorations, but nothing had prepared them for the eerie calm of this mysterious place. On board the Horizon, Liam gathered his closest officers for a brief meeting. The room was dimly lit, and the only sound was the steady hum of the ship's engines. "Our journey has taken us into a realm where science and myth meet," he said in simple, clear words. "We must be careful and keep our minds open. The void may hold answers to our past and keys to our future." His words reassured the team, yet they could not shake the feeling that the darkness was hiding secrets far beyond their understanding. As the fleet advanced, the signal's rhythm began to change. It grew more complex, its beats interwoven with patterns that almost sounded like a language. Engineer Sarah worked with great focus, trying to decode the subtle changes in the signal. With every adjustment and recalibration, she discovered new layers of meaning hidden within the waves of energy. "It is as if the void is trying to speak to us," she said quietly, her fingers dancing over the control panel. "Maybe it has a story of its own." Days passed as the ships traveled deeper into the mysterious expanse. The silence of the void was profound. No enemy fleets or bright stars disturbed the calm, only the soft, enigmatic pulse that led them on. The crew began to notice small, unusual phenomena. In one instance, a gentle glow appeared on the side of a nearby asteroid. In another, fragments of ancient space debris seemed to form patterns in the dark, like clues scattered by an unseen hand. Each event added to the growing sense of wonder and unease among the crew. Captain Mira often walked along the corridors of the Horizon, her eyes reflecting the soft light of distant galaxies. In quiet moments, she recalled old legends about the void. Stories passed down from early explorers who believed that space held memories of lost civilizations and forgotten battles. These legends spoke of a time when the void was not empty, but filled with the voices of those who had long since vanished. Perhaps we are not the first to hear this call, she mused, sharing her thoughts with a trusted friend. Maybe others have been here before, leaving traces of their journey in this endless dark. The mystery of the void deepened when the fleet encountered a phenomenon that defied simple explanation. A small nebula, shimmering with soft pastel colors, emerged unexpectedly in their path. It was unlike anything in the star maps and not listed in any record. The nebula pulsed gently, as if breathing, and its colors shifted slowly from blue to purple to pink. The sight was beautiful and unnerving at the same time. Liam stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the display. "This is no natural occurrence," he said with a measured tone. "There is a story here, written in light and shadow. We must learn what it means." The nebula became a silent guide on their journey. As the fleet passed by, its shifting hues seemed to reveal hints of hidden pathways. Some crew members believed that the nebula was a marker left by an ancient force, a way to lead them to something important. Others worried that it might be a trap laid by those who had long lurked in the darkness. Despite the uncertainty, the fleet pressed on, united by the belief that the answers lay within the heart of the void. Every crew member played a part in this unfolding mystery. From the diligent engineers to the vigilant pilots, all worked together to uncover clues hidden in the cosmic tapestry. The mystery of the void was not just a scientific puzzle. It was a call to the deepest parts of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest places, there is a chance to find hope and meaning. As the Horizon and its fleet continued their journey, the crew realized that they were no longer simply exploring space. They were on a quest to understand the secrets of the void, to learn the language of the cosmos, and perhaps to discover a truth that could change the fate of humanity. The void, with its soft pulses and hidden wonders, had become a silent mentor, guiding them toward a destiny that was both uncertain and full of promise. In the vast silence of space, the mystery of the void deepened, and the fleet moved forward with cautious hope. Every ship, every crew member felt the call, a call that was both a challenge and an invitation to embrace the unknown. The Empire's realization. Far away from the quiet resolve of the human fleet, the great Empire watched the unfolding events with growing alarm. In their vast, glittering palace orbiting a luminous star, high-ranking officers and rulers gathered in a grand council room. The Empire had always prided itself on order, strength, and control. But now, the strange signal from the void and the rapid gathering of human ships had caught their attention. They could not ignore the possibility that this might be more than just a signal. It could be the start of a threat. Emperor Cashin, a stern and experienced leader, sat at the head of a long table, his eyes sharp and calculating, fixed on the holographic map that showed the path of the human fleet. "They are moving into the unknown," he stated in a low, measured voice. His advisors murmured among themselves, their expressions a mix of worry and determination. They had seen the rise of new challenges before, but this one was different. The Empire had always ruled with an iron fist, and the unexpected courage of humanity threatened to unsettle that power. General Varric, the Empire's leading strategist, stepped forward. With simple, clear words, he explained the situation. The human fleet is not just exploring space. They are answering a call from the void. Their actions could change the balance of power. We must not allow them to grow stronger unchecked. His tone left no doubt that the Empire was preparing for conflict. Varric's plan was clear: to track the fleet, learn their strengths, and, if necessary, move swiftly to neutralize this growing threat. Across the Empire, news of the human fleet had spread quickly. Soldiers, administrators, and citizens alike were both fascinated and fearful. In small gatherings in the Empire's busy corridors and public squares, people whispered about the courage of those who dared to leave the comfort of Empire-controlled space. Some believed that this was a moment of destiny, a challenge that could inspire change. Others, however, worried that such bold moves might lead to chaos and weaken the Empire's hold on power. Back in the council room, Emperor Cassian reviewed reports from his spies and scouts. One report described unusual energy readings and the formation of a mysterious nebula near the human fleet. Another noted that the fleet was gathering rapidly and that even older, battle-hardened ships were joining the mission. "They are uniting under a single purpose," Cassian said, his voice heavy with concern. "A united human fleet can be a force to reckon with." His words were simple but carried a deep sense of urgency. The Empire's military began to mobilize. Advanced warships were brought out of storage and polished to a mirror shine. Troops were ordered to prepare for rapid deployment, and weapons were checked and rechecked. In training grounds and shipyards, commanders drilled their teams with precision, ensuring that every soldier knew what to do when the time came. The Empire was not used to surprises, and its leaders were determined to respond quickly and efficiently. In a private meeting with his most trusted advisors, General Varric laid out his strategy. "We must study the human fleet from a distance," he said. "Learn their tactics, their strengths, and their weaknesses. Then, when the time is right, we strike hard and fast." The plan was to use speed and stealth. Small, agile scouts would follow the human ships, gathering all the information they could, while larger warships prepared for a full assault if needed. Varric's simple and direct instructions left no room for doubt. This was a war of opportunity and precision. Meanwhile, on the Empire's news channels, controlled messages spread a mixture of caution and patriotism among the citizens. The voice of a calm announcer stated, "The Empire stands vigilant in the face of new challenges. Our strength and unity will keep us safe from any threat." These words were designed to reassure the public and strengthen their resolve, even as rumors of human bravery and exploration began to fill the air. Despite the Empire's preparations, there was an undercurrent of uncertainty among its leaders. Some advisors questioned whether a conflict with the human fleet was necessary or wise. They recalled the times when the Empire had expanded peacefully, inviting new ideas and talents from beyond its borders. Yet the dominant view was clear. Any challenge to the Empire's power could not be tolerated. The human fleet, with its growing unity and courage, was seen as a spark that might ignite a rebellion or a war that could disrupt the Empire's long-held order. As the Empire's warships readied themselves, Emperor Cassian looked out from his palace window at the star-filled sky. He felt the weight of his responsibilities. Every decision made in that moment could change the future of millions. He knew that the human fleet was driven by hope and destiny, a force that could not be easily dismissed. Yet, in his mind, the stability and legacy of the Empire were at risk. The call from the void was a challenge to the old ways, and the Empire was determined to prove that it would not be outdone. In the quiet moments before the inevitable confrontation, both sides prepared in their own way. The human fleet, guided by a mysterious call and united by a shared dream, sailed into the darkness with hope in their hearts. The Empire, with its long tradition of control and order, set its sights on protecting its power at all costs. As the tension in space grew thicker with every passing moment, the stage was set for a clash of destinies, a battle that would shape the future of both humanity and the Empire. The first clash. The silence of the void was soon shattered by the roar of battle. As the human fleet sailed through the dark, mysterious space, alarms sounded across the starships. A scout ship, one of the nimble crafts that had been sent ahead, picked up signs of enemy warships moving quickly through the darkness. The signals were clear. The Empire was on the move. On the bridge of the horizon, Commander Liam's eyes widened at the sudden burst of activity on the display screens. "All hands, prepare for battle," he ordered in a firm, calm tone. His voice, though steady, betrayed a hint of urgency as the crew scrambled to their stations. The once quiet hum of the ship was now replaced by the sounds of rapid keystrokes, beeping instruments, and the low murmur of focused voices. The Empire's warships, sleek and menacing, began to close in. They moved with purpose, their formations tight and precise. General Varick's orders had been carried out perfectly by the Empire's forces. Their plan was simple: gather information, then strike hard and fast. And now, the moment had come. The enemy ships opened fire with powerful beams of light that cut through the dark void like sharp blades. Liam's crew reacted quickly. Engineer Sarah and her team adjusted the ship's shields, their fingers working rapidly on the control panels to boost the defenses. "Shields at maximum. We can't let their fire breach our hull," she announced in clear, simple words. The crew worked together like a well-oiled machine, each person understanding their part in this unexpected clash. The first exchange was brief but fierce. Laser beams and energy pulses crisscrossed the space between the two forces. The human fleet moved as one, their older ships holding the line while newer, faster ships darted in and out to confuse the enemy. Navigator Jalen's maps were now a lifeline. He steered the ships away from the strongest attacks while guiding them toward weak spots in the enemy's formation. On the Horizon's command deck, Liam watched the unfolding battle with both determination and concern. Each ship was a symbol of human hope, a hope that had been ignited by a mysterious call and now tested in the face of a powerful empire. "Hold the line and watch for an opening," he said, his voice echoing through the breach. "We must not give up, no matter how fierce their assault." The clash grew more intense as the two sides exchanged fire. The Empire's warships were well-armed and precise, but they were surprised by the human fleet's unity and resilience. Even as enemy beams scorched the void, the human fleet fought back with courage. Some ships took heavy damage, their hulls glowing red as energy surged through them, but the spirit of the crew did not waver. Every explosion and burst of light was met with a determined reply. In one dramatic moment, a smaller human ship led by Captain Zara weaved through the barrage of enemy fire. With skillful maneuvers, she managed to get close to an enemy vessel. With a steady hand, she launched a well-aimed missile that struck the target with precision. The enemy ship erupted in a burst of light, its trajectory thrown off course. The move sent a clear message: the human fleet would not be pushed back without a fight. The battle was not only about firepower, it was a test of strategy and heart. The Empire's warships, despite their advanced weapons, seemed unable to break the will of the human forces. The human crew relied on teamwork and trust. Each person played a vital role in the fight. The older ships, carrying the weight of past battles, held strong, while the newer, agile vessels darted in to exploit every gap in the enemy's armor. Amid the chaos, a sudden change in the battle's rhythm sent a chill through both sides. A large, shadowy form emerged from behind a cluster of debris floating in space. No one had expected it. The form, hidden until now by the darkness, was unlike any ship either side had seen. It moved silently and quickly, almost as if it were part of the void itself. Both the human fleet and the Empire paused, their weapons trained on the new arrival. For a few long moments, time seemed to stand still. The strange ship glided between enemy vessels and human ships, its purpose unclear. In that brief pause, questions filled the minds of every crew member. Was it a friend or a foe? A messenger of the void or a secret weapon of the Empire? The silence that followed was filled with tension, as if the universe held its breath. Then, without warning, the shadowy ship opened fire, targeting both sides with beams of unknown energy. The sudden attack disrupted the battle, forcing both the human and Imperial forces to scatter in confusion. Liam's eyes widened as he saw enemy and friend alike caught in the crossfire. "All units, take evasive action," he commanded, his voice urgent and clear. The first clash, meant to be a controlled engagement, had now become a chaotic struggle for survival. The unexpected arrival had thrown both forces into disarray. The human fleet, guided by hope and united by a common purpose, now faced a new and mysterious threat. As the dark silhouette continued its assault, the crew braced themselves for what might come next. In that intense moment, with the void alive with conflict and uncertainty, The true test of humanity's spirit began. Every crew member, from the youngest recruit to the most seasoned officer, understood that the battle was far from over. The call to destiny had led them into the heart of conflict. And now, amidst the chaos of the first clash, they would need to find a way to stand strong together. Turning the tide. In the aftermath of the chaotic first clash, the human fleet found itself scattered and on the defensive. Commander Liam and his officers gathered quickly on the horizon's bridge, their faces marked by worry, but also by a new determination. The unexpected attack from the mysterious shadow ship had thrown the battle into disarray. With both sides reeling from the surprise, the human fleet now faced the greatest challenge yet: how to turn the tide of battle when all seemed lost. Deep within the ship's hold, Engineer Sarah worked tirelessly at a console. As beams of energy faded and the silence of space returned, she discovered a hidden message in the strange signals captured during the fight. The message was clear yet cryptic, a sequence of numbers and simple words that spoke of an ancient weapon once used by humanity in times of great need. This weapon, long forgotten in the annals of history, was said to have the power to shield entire fleets and turn the enemy's strength against them. Sarah quickly gathered the technical team and shared her discovery. "We have something here, a way to fight back," she said in simple words, her voice steady despite the pressure. She explained that the ancient weapon was hidden in the core of the horizon, in a secure chamber that had been sealed off for years. The weapon, known as the Aurora Shield, was designed to harness energy from the void and create a powerful barrier. It was a last resort measure, a secret kept safe for times of dire need. At the same time, Navigator Jalen pored over his star maps and records, searching for any mention of this ancient device. His research uncovered old texts that spoke of a time when humanity had to defend itself against overwhelming odds. In those stories, the Aurora Shield had saved entire worlds by absorbing enemy fire and reflecting it back with twice the force. Jalen shared his findings with Liam, who felt a surge of hope. "This could be our turning point," Liam said, his voice filled with cautious optimism. "We must activate the Aurora Shield now." Captain Mira and the other senior officers quickly set a plan in motion. Teams were dispatched to clear the way to the secure chamber, and the ship's engineers prepared to connect the ancient device to the horizon's power grid. The process was delicate and time-sensitive. Every moment counted as the Empire's warships regrouped and moved in for another strike. Outside, the battle raged on. The Empire's ships, still reeling from the confusion of the mysterious attack, were now slowly forming new lines of attack. General Varick's forces were relentless, their coordinated movements a stark contrast to the earlier chaos. Yet, as the Empire advanced, a new hope spread among the human crew. They had found a secret weapon, one that had been lost to time but was now their chance to fight back. Inside the secure chamber, the Aurora Shield lay dormant. Its surface was covered in markings and symbols, each one a reminder of the power it once held. As Engineer Sarah and her team carefully connected the device to the horizon systems, the ship trembled with anticipation. Slowly, lights began to flicker on the ancient console. The symbols glowed softly, and then with a sudden burst of energy, the Aurora Shield activated. Outside the horizon, a shimmering barrier of light spread outwards, enveloping the ship and its closest allies. The shield pulsed steadily, creating a dome that seemed to absorb the ferocious energy of the Empire's attacks. In one brilliant moment, beams of enemy fire struck the barrier and were reflected back towards their source. The Empire's warships, caught off guard by the sudden change in the battle, staggered as their own weapons turned against them. Liam watched the transformation from the bridge with renewed hope. "Hold steady," he commanded, his voice echoing with confidence. "This is our moment." The human fleet, inspired by the sight of the Aurora Shield, rallied together. Older ships that had taken heavy damage now found renewed strength under the protection of the shield. Newer, faster vessels moved in to exploit the confusion among the enemy lines. Captain Zura led a daring squadron of fighters through the gaps in the Empire's formation. With precise maneuvers and steady hands, her pilots struck key targets, disabling enemy ships one by one. The tide of battle began to shift. The Empire, so used to the power of its own technology and order, was now facing a force that had tapped into the deep, hidden strength of human history. General Varick's forces scrambled to respond. They ordered evasive maneuvers and counterattacks, but the reflected energy from the Aurora shield made every move dangerous. Slowly, the Empire's ships lost their tight formation, their numbers dwindling as the human fleet pressed on. Each explosion and burst of reflected energy was a sign that the ancient weapon was working as it had in legends. As the battle wore on, a sense of unity and purpose filled the human fleet. The discovery and activation of the Aurora shield had given them not just a tool, but a symbol of their enduring spirit. It reminded them that even in the darkest moments, the strength of humanity could rise from the depths of forgotten history. In that crucial hour, the Empire's advantage began to crumble. The human fleet, united by hope and powered by ancient courage, turned the tide of battle. The void, once a silent witness to the conflict, now echoed with the sounds of a new era. An era where humanity's resilience shone brightly, even against the overwhelming might of an empire. With the Aurora shield blazing and the fleet pushing forward, the battle was far from over. But one thing was clear: the call to destiny had awakened a power within humanity that would not be easily extinguished. The legacy of valor. As the battle's echoes faded into the vast silence of space, the human fleet gathered together in a moment of quiet reflection. The once chaotic skies now shimmered with the soft glow of distant stars, and the hum of the Aurora shield still pulsed around the horizon. Commander Lyam stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the horizon, where hope and promise mingled in the darkness. This was not just the end of a fierce conflict. It was the birth of a new era. The Empire's forces had retreated, leaving behind a trail of shattered warships and a heavy silence. Yet, even in defeat, there was respect for the courage of the human fleet. Across the void, scattered fragments of the Empire's power served as a reminder that every victory came with a cost. Lyam's face, tired but resolute, told a story of sacrifice and honor. The journey through the void had tested their limits and revealed the hidden strength within each crew member. On board the Horizon, the crew gathered in the main hall for a moment of remembrance. In simple words, they shared stories of bravery from the battle. Captain Zora recalled her daring maneuvers and the close calls that made her heart pound. Engineer Sarah spoke of the discovery of the ancient weapon, a symbol of hope passed down from forgotten times. Even Navigator Jalen contributed his thoughts, speaking of how the stars had guided them through the darkest moments. Each story added to the tapestry of their shared legacy. As the fleet regrouped and began to assess the damage, a new spirit of determination filled the air. The people of humanity had long lived under the watchful eye of an empire that valued order above all. Now, with their valor on full display, they had shown that courage and unity could defy even the most powerful forces. The crew understood that the battle was only one step in a much larger journey, a journey that would lead them to rediscover lost histories and pave the way for future generations. In the days that followed, the Horizon and its allied ships began repairs and shared knowledge with one another. They traded simple, honest words of encouragement and made plans to explore the void further. It became clear that the mysterious signal that had once beckoned them into the darkness was not just a call to arms. It was a call to remember who they were. It spoke of the human spirit that refused to be tamed, a spirit that could rise above fear and embrace the unknown. Commander Lyam recorded his thoughts in the ship's log, using plain language that every crew member could understand. Today, we have proven that hope is stronger than fear, that unity can overcome even the might of an empire. Our actions today have lit a spark that will guide us into the future. His words, simple and sincere, resonated with everyone who heard them. As the fleet prepared to set course once more, there was a sense of both completion and anticipation. The battle had ended, but the legacy of valor was only beginning. The crew looked forward to new adventures, new mysteries, and new challenges that would test their resolve. They had learned that every ending was just a new beginning, a chance to build a future where the human spirit could soar freely among the stars. And so, with hearts full of hope and eyes set on the endless cosmos, the human fleet sailed onward. Their legacy of valor, born in the heat of battle and nurtured by the call of destiny, would light the path for generations to come.